Your markets are not the enemy. You are. You've studied the charts. You are the only person that can control the situation. You have to ultimately control yourself. You know your strategy, right? So why do you keep on sabotaging your own trading journey? You keep placing trades for the sake of it. You're chasing profits. You're blowing accounts. Does this sound like you? Because I'm sure it does. Let's talk about the real reason you're stuck and how you can break free. Hey guys, I hope you're all well and staying blessed. In today's episode, I'm going to be speaking about how you are your biggest enemy in trading. I'm going to break this up into two segments. Segment one being why you are holding yourself back, which is the more negative side of it, but obviously this is what we're working from. And then segment two will be what you are going to do about it. So number one, over trading from impatience. I went through this so much in my first year and a half, and I actually started doing this about 2 months ago, and that is why I took a month off of the charts, and it is why you need to listen to me. Sometimes we can get so bored and just irritated and itch to try and make money or to look for a setup, and what we end up doing is we end up chasing a trade that we should never have got in the first place. Now ultimately, you know you should wait for your setup. You've done that top-down analysis that's ultimately going to tell you where you're going to enter the market. But you're looking at the markets, you're waiting for an entry, and you just say, do you know what? I'm looking for price to get here, X. Let's just say you're waiting for a pullback. But then let me jump in on the pullback, and then I'll get in again for a second entry, which would be my major entry. But ultimately, this can make you take wider losses because you was not patient. And when you chase the market, you are literally just chasing something that's going to run away. You are now guessing when overall you knew where you was entering. And now this turns your strategy into guesswork. You're just guessing where to get in. You are now gambling. You are not taking these probable factors as to why you are getting into this trade. Impatience leads to emotional trades, which in hindsight is going to make you fail a lot quicker than succeeding. And that takes me on to my second point, the fear of losing. Now, I know you have placed a trade before because I certainly have. When I place a trade and I second guess myself and I say, did I enter that too quick? Is it definitely going to go in the direction that I'm hoping it for? You have to stop being so fearful. When you do your top-down analysis and you look for a good setup, you have to trust yourself when you're actually placing that trade. Because fear will take over and it will consume your trading. Fear causes hesitation, early exits, early entries, and sometimes just jumping in a trade and closing it straight away. And this can just stop you from making more profits, and ultimately that's not what we want. Subconsciously, you'd rather miss out than be wrong, and we need to change that. We need to rewire your mind so that you understand if you take a loss, it's okay. But the fear of losing is going to make you feel like, let me not even place the trade. That way I don't have to think about, am I going to take a loss? Is this trade going to go against me? And we need to stop that. The fear creates inconsistency, and this will be your biggest killer for profitability. Moving on to number 3, revenge trading or going on tilt. I was a massive sucker for this, and I definitely went on tilt 2 months ago. And if you go back and watch my last 2 to 3 videos, I'm speaking about what I learned from taking a break, and it's really important that you guys watch that video because if you are going through a tilt or revenge trading, that video will massively help you. Revenge trading, if you don't know what it is, it's basically taking a loss on a trade that you've entered, and then because you've taken a loss, you now want to get in another trade to try and make that money back. But ultimately, this is going to eat more and more of your account away because you are just now acting out of emotion. And you are being impulsive to try and chase money in the markets. And we do not want to do that as traders. We want to be in control of our emotions and not revenge trade. You need to remember the problem is not the loss. The problem is how you react to the loss you take. If you take a loss, but you told yourself, I'm going to risk 0.5% today. And you've taken that 0.5% loss, but you're trying to get in for another trade because you want to make that money back because you've already lost it. Now you're now going against your trading plan and you are not sticking to your rules. And that means you are now acting out of emotion. And that is what we want to avoid as traders. Which leads me onto my next point, the need to be right. How many times have you done an analysis and you're expecting price to get to a certain point before entering the market, but you take a step back and you realize that, oh, actually, I analysed this completely wrong. But you think that, for example, if you trade support and resistance, but you're looking at the market and thinking that it's going to be sells, You're like, okay, it's going to break through this support zone, it's going to retest the resistance, and then it's going to go to my TP, the next support zone. But actually, you see price starting to make uptrending movement, meaning your analysis was wrong. This doesn't say anything about your trading, but overall you need to understand that you have to now move with the market, because you cannot be right 100% of the time. The market will do what the market wants to do, and you have to be the bigger person to understand that you cannot control the market, and your 0.1 lot, your 1 lot, your 20 lot is not moving the market, okay? So move with the market, because if not, you will get eaten alive. And my last point is the lack of self-trust. When you do a top-down analysis, you have to really trust yourself that this is what you're expecting price to do. You are expecting GBP, JPY to get to X price before you buy or before you sell. And you have to be patient and know that when price gets to where it's going, where you expect it to, that is when you will look for your entry in the market. If you do not trust yourself and you're constantly second guessing your trading plan and your strategy, you are ultimately going to hold yourself back from seeing profits. If you keep on taking losses and you keep trying to change your strategy, or your strategy hopping, which means you're jumping from one strategy to the next because you think it's your strategy, you need to stop, you need to take a mental break, and you need to come back and see trading is not about strategy hopping and looking for a holy grail. It's more about looking inwards at yourself. What is triggering you? Why are you chasing the money so much? You need to work on your mindset, because if not, ultimately, the strategy don't even matter. You could have the best strategy in the world, but if you are scared, you have a massive ego and you think you're right all of the time, or you're revenge trading, or you're worried about placing a trade because you don't want to lose any capital, you need to look at yourself, because you seem like the problem. It's not the strategy, okay? Sometimes as we grow as traders, we do tweak our strategy a little bit, and that's fine. But don't go from trading support and resistance to then being like, I don't like support and resistance, I'm going to focus just on trend lines. And then you're like, no, this isn't working, I'm taking losses, I'm going to focus on ICT. You need to find a strategy that works for you. And then hand in hand, when you have the strategy, it's like riding a bike. You will have the skill. You have the strategy. It will be your bread and butter. But you can have bread and butter, but you need a knife. And ultimately that knife is your mindset. If your mindset is not in the right place, you will not be able to spread that butter evenly on the piece of bread. I know it's a bit of a weird strategy to say, but it's the truth. So listen to me or don't. Take my advice, but trust me, I'm 5 years in, I took so many losses, and now I live the life I've always dreamed of. I get to do what I want when I want. I've paid for things I want to pay for, got my car, got my home, travelled to places I never thought I'd be able to afford, and paid off so much debt. I now get to help my family out whenever they need help. And my daughter has a great life, and I do that all on my own. So I'm definitely a testimony, so you should listen to me. Now, before we go into the transition of what you need to do about it to change this and stop letting the enemy be the trading when it's not, it's you, I do just want to say that I am now a full trading psychology coach, and you can find all information in the description down below for one-to-ones, for my community, for my trading psychology course, and so much more. So do not forget to check the description down below. I'm going to give you some actionable steps of what you should do about it to stop being a victim and thinking that trading's against you and overall you're the biggest enemy to your trading success. Number 1, build awareness first. If you don't already, start journaling your trades. This is going to massively help you, because as you collect data, you can figure out what is wrong with your trading journey, whether it be your psychology, you're impulsive and you're entering trades really quickly, you're revenge trading, you're attached to the money, your strategy just needs a little bit of tweaking, you're too focused on following other people online and not focused on your own journey. Your trading journal will be the place you put all of this information. Now, whether you use an automated journal or you just journal in Notion or literally on a piece of paper, that's down to you. I do have a Notion template as well. I will leave the link down below. However you do it, make sure you are putting everything in there in terms of the way you feel before entering a trade, how you feel when you're in the trade, why did you even take the trade? Is there news currently on? A screenshot of the trade you're in, the before and the after. All of this information is going to allow you to look back on that trade, and if it's a good trade and it hit TP, you can look at that and be like, how did I feel? What did I do different? How am I going to get that again? And you can look at this and be like, wow, I stuck to my risk management, I stuck to my trading plan, I stuck to The affirmations I told myself, like, I am a great trader, I'm confident. And also, in hindsight, you can look at your trade and you can feel confident with yourself. And if it's a loser, you can learn from your mistakes. Where did you go wrong? Did you not even enter your data into your journal? This is going to really help you, and I definitely suggest journaling if you do not, because journaling absolutely shifted everything for me, because now I understand my mind a lot better. Because as much as you think, it's fine, I'll learn from that, I know where I went wrong, if you do not have the data and the proof and the evidence, you will not learn from your mistakes. Number 2, create an emotional rulebook. For example, if you feel like you're about to be impulsive and jump in a trade, what is in your emotional rulebook when you feel like this? It could be, I'm going to step away from the market for 10 minutes. I'm going to shut everything down, TradingView, my laptop, my phone, whatever it may be, and go and do something else for 10 minutes. Have a shower, clean the home, make some food, go for a walk. Another one could be you're hesitating on a trade. For example, you're about to get in the trade, but you're like, I don't know, is it definitely going to hit TP? I would suggest in your rule book, have something down like, I'm going to half my position size, which will essentially allow you to not take a big loss if you are 50-50 about the trade. And obviously don't just enter any trade if you're 50-50, but I mean, if you've done your top-down analysis, but you're still a bit like, I'm not too sure, then half your position size, trust me, because half of your position size is better than your whole position size, and then you feel bad, and then you revenge trade, and then you go on tilt. Number 3, pre-trade rituals. This has probably been the biggest lifesaver for me in my personal life, but also in trading. For example, every time you're about to do a trading session, so you're about to open the charts, you're about to analyze the charts, you're about to trade, like real life market trading, set the intention. Make sure you feel calm. Play some lo-fi music, or like just get really in the moment. Write some affirmations down like, I am a great trader, I'm confident in my strategy. Give yourself the self-talk that you would give yourself if you was going through a rough patch and you didn't want to give up. Even do a visualization practice and see yourself as the CEO of your trades, because ultimately you are the trader and you are the creator of your life. So if you are going to the markets to make money, you are the CEO of your portfolio. Number 4, detach self-worth from P&L. P&L is profit and loss. So even if you take a loss, don't say to yourself that you're not worthy of being a trader or try and give up with trading. No, celebrate the losses and celebrate the wins. And why I say celebrate the losses, it's because if you are celebrating when you lost, you will look at your journal and you'll go, oh my God, I know now. I know where I went wrong and I know what I need to do to be better next time. And ultimately, you need to celebrate that because you've just learned something about yourself. If you've taken a loss and you've understood why you took the loss, yes, sometimes the market just moves crazy and it could just stop you out. We understand. But even that, for example, go to Forex Factory. Was there a news event that you didn't check on before entering a trade? And now you've just caused yourself a massive risk in the market for no reason. Just detach your self-worth from your P&L, and this will massively help you understand that regardless of a profit or loss, this does not change you as a person, and you will be less ego-driven by profits and not feel so sorry for yourself if you take a loss. And now the 5th and the final point is the identity shift. Ask yourself, are you ready to be profitable? Start identifying yourself in the markets as a decision maker, not a profit chaser. We don't want to just chase the profits. Obviously, we're trading to make money. Let's not be silly. We're not just trading to have a bit of fun, right? Do not chase the profits, because the more you chase something, the more it runs away, trust me. When you start having more calculated decisions, you're more patient and you're okay with sitting on your hands for a couple of days or a couple of hours if price isn't where you want it to get to before entering the market. Stop chasing profits and understand that you are the creator of your trading journey. Now, what type of journey do you want? Do you want a profitable one? Or do you want one where you're going to say, trading's a scam, I give up, I can't make money, every firm's against me? No. You want to make sure that you are able to make money in the markets. You need to change. What would the disciplined version of you do? Ask yourself. Remember, you are the biggest enemy of your trading journey. Trust me. You are the person that's going to learn from your mistakes, or not see these as mistakes, see these as failures, never learn from them and give up trading. Trading can change your life. I promise you. Whether it be you just want a bit more stability, you want to take yourself on holiday, you want to learn a new skill, you want to be able to eat food whenever you want to eat food, you want to be able to treat yourself to nice luxury items like Rolexes or cars, you need to understand that you are the enemy and you're not a victim of your life. So you can ultimately change your trading journey into a positive one. Yes, you still may take losses, but when you actually come in control of your mind and you rewire your mind to be a better version of yourself, your trading is going to be so much better. You're not fighting the markets, you are fighting your impulses, your impulsive decisions to enter the market when you knew you shouldn't have. Your impulsive decisions to just keep on entering trade after trade because you need money quickly. No. Journal your trades. Be more patient. Show up to the markets as if you're showing up to your interview. Before you go to an interview, you prepare yourself, right? Prepare yourself before you jump on the markets, before you enter a trade, before you do your top-down analysis, in fact. Do not just show up like this is a gamble, like you're in the casino. No, this is real life and this is real money to be made. Before I end out, there is good news I want to tell you. All of the habits you have learned, whether they be bad or good, they are habits that you have learned, which means you can unlearn them. If you are struggling with bad habits, please join the community. I will leave the link down below because every single Monday I do calls exactly like this based on certain topics that we're going to cover. Some being trading psychology calls or some being just general self-development calls, which are ultimately going to help you be successful in all areas of your life. These videos are also all available on playback, so you can go and watch weeks worth of videos that you've missed from before. And we do a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions you want to ask me, you can ask me, and obviously you get full access to me. And every single Tuesday, Mads does strategy calls where she goes over support and resistance, Fibonacci levels, trend lines, and so many currency pairs, indices, and commodities. So you do not want to miss that out. I will leave more information down below. Master your mindset and the markets will be a mirror of your mindset. I'm going to end this video with an affirmation, and the affirmation for today's episode is, I am a master of my mindset, which ultimately means I am not the enemy in my trading journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care and stay blessed. Peace.